Empires on the Run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Aging starts at the cellular level. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries. During that period, key patented compounds have focused on mitochondrial growth, nerve growth, and rejuvenation. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. We now have the synergistic solution, DNA Force, just one of the key compounds. BioPQQ is backed by major clinical studies and over 175 PubMed-listed published studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond Gusset Jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond Gusset Jeans got it. Others don't.
Mainstream media, government cover-ups.
You want answers?
You want answers? Well, so does he. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We're going to finish up with Charlie and all the callers that are there, Sean and others. Wayne Madsen's our guest. I do have John Bound's report we haven't aired yet as well. We'll get to that on Ebola. The CDC now announcing it can last 41 days in a certain percentage of people. This is getting crazy, clearly mutating. We are carrying a new film that's exclusively available for the next few weeks only at Infowars.com, InfoWarsStore.com. There's no place like Utopia, a Joel Gilbert film that's even more powerful than Dinesh D'Souza's new film and more to the base of showing what collectivism is really all about, total social control. They take the good idea of helping poor people and turn it into a system of actually enslaving. Very powerful film. There's no place like Utopia. And it's not pre-order. It's shipping now for $14.95, and your purchase supports Joel Gilbert and the InfoWars operation. There's no place like Utopia. Available at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. Don't forget we have the Made in America Ebola shirts that equate Obama with the disease of tyranny. Very effective. Those are selling out very quickly if you want to get those, but the blood splatter one and the regular one It's fake blood, folks. And then we also have the Molon Labe Come and Take It shirts in a bunch of different designs, and also a tight-fitting one with gold foil for women. I think it's one of the best-looking women's Second Amendment shirts out there. That's at madein1776.com or InfoWarsStore.com. Madein1776.com is just a subdivision of that. Just like InfoWarsLife.com is just a sub-area of InfoWarsStore.com with the very best, bar none, in my view, supplements out there. We set out where other supplement makers, will spend $2 on a product and sell it for $30. I'll spend $18 on a product and sell it for $30. Or we'll spend $10 on a product and sell it for $25. Still a markup, still funds our operation. But we go to some of the biggest, most respected manufacturers in the country, and we just go, we're going above and beyond organic standards, government standards, everything standards, and we're going with the most powerful dosages. And they're like, wow, you're going to put $40 in one bottle like DNA Force of just one of the compounds. Each bottle has that much of one of the compounds in it. The Bio-PQQ, the CoQ10, all of it. These are nutraceutical over the top. R-iodine. Try it next to all the others. Blow you away. Double the strength of leading competitors. 50% stronger than our last formula that's still available. People say, this doesn't taste horrible. Why does it taste different? Because it's not mixed in alcohol, and it's true nascent iodine from a crystal source, not a seaweed source that we believe from our research is not true nascent iodine and bounds to the alcohol. This is in a organic palm oil. And for me and my family and my research, I believe for my immune system and for bolstering my body's defenses, it's just as important or more important than colloidal silver. And iodine is something you got to have. Colloidal silver is not something you got to have. Without iodine, you die. And there's a big conspiracy with them lowering the allowances down to nothing. So InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Stock up with your preparedness cabinet. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. The Lung Shield is a whole bunch of essential oils and other key extracts. Concentrated. This isn't like normal throat sprays that have some menthol. It's so thick, though, you got to, after you use it 10 times, kind of wash out the sprayer because it will clog. It's super thick in the bottle. It's oil. There's not fillers in this stuff. We checked into the leading competitor's throat spray, and it's like $1.50, and they sell it for $20. Okay? We go over the top and put like $10, I think it is, of product into it. So it's just, if you want real hardcore stuff, this is it. And it supports Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, the nightly news, the reporters, the writers, the researchers, the great people running the show right now, the customer service people, the graphics folks, everybody here. And we're trying to expand in the face of this tyranny. I'm not going to risk my life and just, wait by the wayside here. Wayne, I want to go to calls and then finish up on Gary Webb. But first off, tell folks about your new book at WayneMadsenReport.com.
Well, it's called The Star and the Sword. And ever since 9/11, I'm actually right now pursuing yet another angle on 9/11, which came to me just recently. But, people said, well, I was the one who received this DEA report on these mysterious Israeli art students who were penetrating security at various places before 9/11. And then, of course, I got that list, remember, of all the suspects, had Atta and all the rest of the hijackers and all these other Saudis and other people on it. And in addition to the guy who was running the urban moving systems, the Israeli-owned moving company in New Jersey. And I said, I got thinking, people said, no, the Israelis were behind it. No, the Saudis were behind it. But, what we see with ISIL or ISIS or Islamic State or whatever they're calling themselves this week, they're being supported by not only the Saudis and their friends, these potentates on the Persian Gulf, but also, as we see in the Golan Heights, they're being supported by the Israeli Defense.
And that's not anti-Israel when it's in the Jerusalem Post that Israel's government is supporting al-Qaeda. It's a fact. And as you said, why did Fox News, when 9/11 happened, they did 4 reports on the Israelis getting arrested as well? Was that some inner blackmail fight going on?
I heard it was Cheney had a big fight with then Sharon, Ariel Sharon, the prime minister of Israel, and wanted to send a message to the Israeli government, look, we know what's going on. And he handed part of that DEA report. It was about 64 pages, if I recall. He handed part of it to Britt Hume, who attended the vice president's Christmas party in early December '01. And of course, a week and a half later, Fox ran with that 4-part series. I heard that was what prompted it. But remember back in Desert Storm, Saddam Hussein was firing Scuds not only at Israel, but also at Saudi Arabia. These two countries, I'm suggesting in the book, The Star and the Sword, have had a long-term relationship going back to the 70s and 60s with a group of intelligence agencies called the Safari Club. But even back to post-World War I, when the first Saudi king, Ibn Saud, sent a letter to Chaim Weizmann ahead of the World Zionist movement saying, look, we Saudis have no problem with you establishing a homeland in Palestine. That's history. And some people want to ignore that history, but I would suggest that link between Riyadh and Jerusalem has been around a lot longer.
Why would Saudi Arabia want to overthrow Libya, overthrow Syria, overthrow Egypt, overthrow Iraq? I guess so they can take it over.
Part of Netanyahu's he came out with a plan in 1996 called a clean break or securing the realm. It talked about overthrowing these Arab governments and replacing them with warring factions. There was also the Oded plan formulated by an Israeli in 1982 that called for the same thing. So when we saw Wesley Clark come out and say he saw a list of governments that we're going to overthrow in the region, it's the same list. It's the same plan. Clark didn't disagree with it. He just said he saw it after 9/11. Look, what Clark saw, the Oded plan, the clean break plan in Netanyahu, which was sure. Basically written by Richard Pearl, it's all the same thing. And we're seeing it played out now with ISIS. Sure. Realize the ISIS represents 12,000 mercenaries from 81 different countries. A lot of them haven't stepped foot in a mosque in their entire lives. They have no linkage to Islam. So what do you call that? It's a mercenary army.
It's a CIA secret army. And my issue is, if these Arab countries were really attacking us, it'd be one thing. But over and over again, the West stirs them up, arms the radical group to go into friendly countries like Egypt, try to overthrow them. This is, but this is the same thing. Shut our businesses down. Shut our economy down. It's not an American government or even Israeli government. It's just these criminal networks that get power out of crises. And then they're taking my liberties and your liberties and our children's liberties in the name of Al-Qaeda that they run. I want the fraud to end. Just like they're letting Ebola in, and then they're going to let it get out of control.
They're not going to stop with Iraq or Syria. They're going to. When I was in Iran recently, I was in a car traveling between Shiraz and a town on the way to the Persian Gulf, and I noticed Iranian police were stopping cars, and I asked, what are they doing? And my driver said, oh, well, they're stopping people that look like they're Arabs to see if they're members of ISIL. I said, interesting. You think they're in the country? And then I started asking, and yes, they've crossed into over the Iranian border. They're going after the Iranian government next. And we also had a situation in Syria where the largely Tunisian commanders of ISIL were actually turned on by Chechens and from Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, and Uyghurs from Western China. They beheaded these guys. These were pretty good commanders, and replaced them because the CIA, the Saudis, and the Israelis eventually want ISIL to go after Russia and China, and Chechens and Uyghurs are the ones they're going to use to do that. And look, what's happening in Hong Kong right now, these protests are a carbon copy of what took place in Maidan Square in Kiev. This is a direct assault on China. ISIL is not going to stop at Iran. They're going to go into Western China. They're going to go into southern Russia.
Oh, we got to go to calls. They've been holding. Charlie in Canada, thanks for holding. Then we'll go to Sean, Indigo Kid, and Anthony. Go ahead.
Alex, I owe you a heartfelt thank you. I've had a disease called sarcoidosis for 25 years. I've been critically ill for 14. I ordered the oxy powder, and it knocked it out of me literally in 6 days.
Well, we can't make medical claims, but I only sell stuff that's blown my socks off, literally. Oxy powder, it's time-released oxygen, releases in the small and large intestine, or large and then small intestine, and it just... Other herbal flushes and stuff are very painful. This is just life-changing. I was pushed for a year to carry it, pushed for a year to promote it. I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm not into that stuff. And it really has been amazing and made my waist size go down personally, and it's just done a lot of stuff. I mean, what happened when you took it?
Well, at first, I got, it wasn't uncomfortable. I kind of felt my stomach bubble up a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.